Alright guys, today's tutorial will be seeing how to do an absolute scaling using Blender. Let me take a simple cube mesh and I'm gonna apply some changes to the mesh so that you can see really what's happening. So I'm turning the cavity on and take a close look at this tab which I have opened here, the transform tab over here. And if you don't want it to have this tab enabled on your preview, you can press N, that will go away and you can always enable it back. So when you say scale in is actually happening, but only the dimensions should change. So you notice that the scale along with it also changes, which is a very bad thing in Blender. When you apply the modifiers, this will take a whole lot of difference. So you gotta see why. I'll be explaining that. So you already see that the dimensions are affected. I have no problem, that's completely fine. But why is the scale getting affected? Two simple reasons. The reason is you haven't applied the scale on the mesh after you scaled it. Probably you should take a chance to edit or scale your mesh through the edit mode available on Blender. That will automatically reset the scale values automatically and completely dynamic, right? So I'm gonna show that to you in a while, but let's see how that affects big time. So what can we do over here is we can see this mesh is completely scaled and the dimension is pretty neat and clean, and you can also see that the size, the scale size is actually affected, which I don't want it to be intact, right? So Blender does a blunder when you actually apply modifiers onto it. So I'm gonna add simple cube once again, and this time I'm gonna go ahead and scale it on the edit mode so you can see the difference what's actually happening over there. Let's go ahead and do that. So for that you gotta go to the edit view and choose the mesh and tab. That will switch to the edit mode, and you can see over there. And now you gotta scale as per your wish, however you want it. That's good. Somewhere around there should be really good. Alright, let's switch into the normal mode. I can actually see the scale value, the size value is not changed, which means any modifiers that you apply now will be nice looking, like the one which you see over here. The edge precision bevel is looking really great, and the reason is because the scale value is 111. Might be a question. Let's go ahead and try doing the same thing over here in the non-edit mode, and I'll show you the difference, how that affects modifiers in a while. Here we go, and see how bad the precision bevel at the edges. It's looking really disgusting. So this is what we need to actually remember while modeling the mesh, to keep the size, the transform scale size, always to uniformity, or else you'll face this kind of issues and it's gonna suck big time when you're modeling and when you're applying the shading. So this is not a good way of doing it. So you can actually see how bad it looks from the edges, and when you scale it back again, it's gonna follow the same scale value.